Welcome back to PETV. This is part 2 interview with Dr. Heppard. As you can remember in part 1, Dr. Heppard looked at technology not only in the core classes but in the exploratory classes as well and how it could benefit that. Today Dr. Heppard is going to look at two basic features, a camera/video and the FitnessGram app. Both apps that can benefit your classes and your students as well. Dr. Heppard, my first question for you, what exactly is the camera app and the FitnessGram app that you will be talking about today? Thank you for having me back today. I appreciate you allowing me to spread the word on how technology can be utilized in the PE class. The first app, the video/camera, can be found at the bottom of the iPad right there. It is a free app that should be on every single iPad that the users can use. The second app is one that you're going to have to download, and it is FitnessGram. The FitnessGram, remember, tests the 4 physical fitness elements: the aerobic endurance, upper body strength, abdominal strength, and flexibility. And that has to be downloaded through FitnessGram's webpage. FitnessGram will be paid through your district, and so once the teacher has that, then they can load it onto their iPad. So taking a picture of somebody or a movie of somebody can benefit a class? Yes, let's just look at the simple push-up and how many of our students, whether it's in elementary or the secondary level, are unable to do a correct push-up. What we can do is we can take an iPad, we can take a picture, a video of that student doing that push-up. We can then have the student come back to the teacher, give them automatic feedback, show them, hey, this is what you're doing wrong. You need to make sure that your arms are coming down to a 90-degree angle. Then have them come back up. You can look at their gluteus maximus. You can see that it might be up in the air. You can make sure you can tell them, hey, nothing can touch the ground. You can see maybe, hey, your knees are touching the ground. So all those features right there, the student can watch themselves, complete the skill, and then go right back to the teacher's iPad and get that feedback in order to do that push-up correctly. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you be my student. Since I couldn't get any of the students at Spring Garden Middle School to have their parents sign the waiver form to be on YouTube, so I'm going to have you be my student, and I'm going to have you do 4 push-ups, and then we'll go back and look at it on the iPad. Okay, doctor, it's been a while, so I'll give the old college try. Here are my 4 push-ups. Okay, great effort. What I noticed there that your first 2 push-ups were done correctly. Your last 2 push-ups, though, needed some work. So what we can do here is we can look at the the third push-up here, and we notice there that your gluteus maximus is up in the air. So we can say, hey, you got to make sure that you have a flat back, and then we can look at the last picture there. The last push-up that you did, you had your knees on the ground. You weren't at a 90-degree angle. So we can take that information, say, hey, this is what you need to do correct, and go from there. Automatic feedback. Looking at a push-up, or you could go to a skill. You go to a skill as shooting a basketball, throwing a baseball. Whether or not the student is stepping in opposition, whether or not that they're following through on their jump shot. All those skills right there, you can break it down. And so that student can say, hey, this is what I need to do to work on those skills. What was the second app that you mentioned? Fitness Guard or something as that? What would that do for a class? It's actually called FitnessGram. And what FitnessGram does, it's a website app that can be found on the computer and then downloaded onto your iPad. And it provides the teacher and student with valuable information that can help the student become a better and healthier individual. So I've got mine uploaded here already, and so we'll look at my 6th hour here, and we'll click on scores, and it gives all the students there in alphabetical order. It tells them their score for the 20 meter pacer, the curl up, the push up, their sit and reach scores. And so the teacher has all that information in there. The next thing that the teacher could do is go to reports. And what we do with reports is that we can go to details and stats, selected by teacher, go there. Okay, next. I am going to go to FitnessGram individual data sheet. And so what this does is just a simple sheet that the student can take with them to keep goals, like a goal setting. You know, your first quarter, it starts off as a baseline. Then the student writes that score down. You take a day and you say, hey, you know, how many more could you do, and just start a reachable goal for the students. Go back to that. You can go back to reports, and you can go to let's see, student report. So we'll go to a student report page, and this page is really exciting because it tells you exactly where you are in regards to a needs improvement range or your healthy fitness zone. And then off to the side there, it tells some exercises that the student can do to help them out to get better so they can stay healthier. With that information, they take the students' height and weight, which is done by our nurse during the first quarter. Our nurse takes the student height and weight. We enter that in there, and it gives the students percent body fat. As you can see here, this student might be in the healthy fitness zone. Other students are in the needs improvement, and that could be kind of a negative thing for some students. They can look at that as I'm overweight, or become an issue, and it might shy them away from exercise. Or uh, you know how can we benefit? How can we change those attitudes of students and say, hey, this is where you're at right now as a 13, 14, 15-year-old. What's it going to look like in 15 years? What can you change in your life to become a healthier individual? So there's so many different things just right to help them collect data for the next time that they test to see any improvement in those tests. Wow, that sounds like a lot of great information there, Doc. And Doctor, we appreciate your time and look forward to visiting with you again sometime.